All right. First of all, I've been playing with OBS a little bit. Oh wait, hold up. Before I do that, I'm tripping. Let me. Hey, can you see me? Hold up. Let me. Yeah, you can see me now. So, uh, welcome to the church announcements. Once again, I've been. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been playing around. I'm not using Relive no more. I'm getting on OBS. I'm practicing using OBS, and I think I'm getting a little bit good at it. I'm learning how to switch between scenes, and I want you to have times where you can see me, and then times when you can see my screen, which you should be able to see my screen right now. I done started setting up hotkeys and shit, so your boy is starting to professionalize this. I'm setting it up where you can't see me hitting the record button and you can't see the software while it's on the record button. I'm trying to make this fancy. I'm trying to make this somewhat professional. I even put I put a software on here to block out background noise, because I don't know if you can see my fancy. This is part of the reason why I even started recording this. You can see my fancy ass. Hold up, make sure you can see my fancy ass PC case that I changed. The old PC case I had was big and bulky and ugly and took up so much space. I just went and replaced it with a nice, beautiful. I got a lot of upgrades coming for this thing. I already bought a new video card. I'm working on getting a new processor. I done got some NVMe memory put in here. I done got a adapter for my USB-C cable, because I'm still rocking AM4 platform. This old ass motherboard doesn't have a port for USB-C. I'm doing a lot, man. I'm getting a lot of shit done over here. So I think I'm gonna have to start actually looking in the camera now that you can actually see what I look like, so it doesn't look weird. I mean, I'm mostly gonna be looking at this, but I got a lot going on here. I'm upgrading a lot of shit. Unfortunately, not knowing what to do with old stuff. I don't like going on the internet and trying to sell shit, so I end up trying to give it to people, but nobody wants it because it's old. But it is what it is. That's Y'all don't need to know nothing about that. But the announcement is that things are getting better. The production is getting better. The production is getting more refined and professional. So, you know, thank me. thank thank me for that. Uh and this is gonna be real quick, actually. I know I said church announcements is supposed to be an hour long. I don't man, I I can't think of nothing. I haven't made a video in so long because I don't know what to talk about for real. A lot of this shit that's popular to talk about right now is stupid. And it doesn't warrant a full hour of conversation, especially not a full hour of conversation of me by myself. You know, I'm talking to y'all, but like in real life, I'm really just talking to myself, and it's hard for me to justify doing that. In my brain, it feels weird. It feels like I'm actually talking to myself, and it makes me not want to do it. I don't know if that's how everybody else looks at it, but that's how I look at it. But anyway, uh, the main thing I want to get on here and actually talk about is this Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl thing. Just for a little bit of background, let me make sure the screen's on. Yeah. So for a little bit of background, the Super Bowl is going to be played in New Orleans Superdome, 2025. The football season just started, so in a few months from now, um, when the next year comes, they're gonna be playing the Super Bowl in New Orleans, my hometown, and they decided to go ahead and let Kendrick Lamar be the guy doing the halftime show for the Super Bowl, and it's somehow this has become controversial because motherfuckers that came up with conspiracy theories I mean, I guess I don't. I shouldn't call it a conspiracy theory because this could be real. It seems like grasping at straws to me, but the story is that the only reason Jay-Z decided to go with Kendrick Lamar is to take a shot at Drake and Lil Wayne for some reason. Like it was a malicious decision to choose Kendrick Lamar instead of Lil Wayne. Big, and they're saying like it would have made so much sense. Lil Wayne is a New Orleans legend. Hold up. Lil Wayne is a New Orleans legend, and he's from New Orleans, and they're having the game in New Orleans. Why wouldn't they put it as Lil Wayne? The only reason it could be is because they had some malicious background conspiracy hatred for for Lil Wayne, which is strange to me because as far as I know, uh Jay-Z and Lil Wayne didn't have any issues. I don't see why Jay-Z would be beefing. Well, maybe we need to watch one of these videos to explain it. Uh, uh, this guy usually breaks things down pretty good, so I'll watch his video.
So, Kendrick Lamar is performing at the next Super Bowl, but some people aren't very happy about it. I don't know, ask Jay-Z. Ah, yes, that Jay-Z, the only Jay-Z, because he is the one who chooses directly who is performing in the Super Bowl. And this happened because after the Colin Kaepernick thing, the NFL asked Rihanna to perform. She said, in her words, I couldn't care to perform. The NFL chooses Maroon 5, it was a disaster, Jay-Z steps in, and the halftime show is good again. So Jay-Z's response to Lil Wayne not performing was, nothing, because he don't respond. So people came up with their own conclusions. Nicki Minaj's was Jay-Z has a problem with Birdman, Drake, and Nicki Minaj. Now I need you to listen, because here's where it starts to connect. First of all, notice she did not say hatred for Lil Wayne. That's important because Birdman, Drake, and Nicki Minaj all have their separate problems with Jay-Z. Second of all, they were all part of the same label at one point and were like a family. But the family broke down a little bit, and Jay-Z is a big part of that story. This guy named Birdman signs Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne signs Drake and Nicki Minaj. Come to find out, Birdman doesn't pay anybody. That's why Drake and Pusha T got into it. Birdman didn't pay for a beat. Pusha T is his friend, says, screw you, Birdman. Lil Wayne says, don't talk about Birdman like that. Pusha T says, screw you, Wayne. Drake says, screw who? Again, like a family. Now, remember when I told you Lil Wayne was one of the biggest rappers in the world? Jay-Z wanted to sign him, but Jay-Z knew how close Lil Wayne and Birdman was, so he says, hey, Birdman, I'm gonna ask Lil Wayne. Birdman gets pissed, saying, why would you even try that? Jay-Z says, hey, Lil Wayne, you wanna sign to my label? Lil Wayne says, I'm gonna stay loyal and sign to Birdman. But remember how I told you Birdman don't pay nobody? Birdman basically gives Lil Wayne nothing, and Birdman's excuse was, I took Lil Wayne and his mom out the trap. So Birdman steals $100 million from Lil Wayne. The money Lil Wayne was supposed to use to start his own label. So with no money, Lil Wayne gave you Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Tyga, some of the biggest rappers to date. And the sad part is you can argue they got so big because of what happens next. Lil Wayne finds out all that money is being stolen from him. He says, screw you, Birdman. Birdman says, screw you. You can't release music. So the #1 rapper in the world, Lil Wayne, was not able to release music. Drake becomes the #1 rapper, but it's way more complicated than that. Regardless, Jay-Z pops in and says, you need some help, Lil Wayne? So Lil Wayne teams up with Jay-Z. They sue Birdman. Lil Wayne gets like $50 million. Some people believe that Jay-Z helps artists out with their label problems so he can sign them to management deals. Jay-Z's done this for Lil Uzi Vert. He's done this for Megan Thee Stallion. And boom, here's where it all connects. Remember, Jay-Z has helped out Lil Wayne. Birdman gets pissed. He's helped out Megan Thee Stallion. Nicki Minaj gets pissed because she believes that Megan Thee Stallion was trying to take her spot in rap and Jay-Z's team was trying to help her do that. But the truth is, all of this is much bigger than that. It's about business. And that's why Drake got pissed. Because after Jay-Z helps out these artists, he doesn't ask them to sign to his label. He just asks for a favor. And his request to Lil Wayne was to release his next album on something called Tidal, which was a streaming platform that Jay-Z owned. Lil Wayne says, of course, I got you. Jay-Z then asked Drake, Drake says no, and signs with Apple Music for $40 million, which apparently pissed Jay-Z off. So Nicki Minaj and Birdman, by the way, are saying this is Jay-Z's way of taking revenge. But regardless, people sign up to Tidal because of Jay-Z's connection with rappers. He sells Tidal, and Jay-Z gets millions. Now, when I say he asked for a favor, that don't mean he just asked for a favor. It's more like he discovered Rihanna, they're tight. He says, hey, can you perform at the Super Bowl? Rihanna's never gonna say no. I also want you to understand that he could truly be helping out artists from the kindness of his heart and just ask for favors when he really needs a favor. So as you can tell, he has a business mind, which finally brings us to Kendrick Lamar. As you can imagine, all that stuff I just mentioned puts Lil Wayne in a weird spot, right? He was a legend that suddenly had to stop releasing music, so he's still relevant in many spaces, but maybe not all the spaces. You wanna know who's relevant in all the spaces though? Kendrick Lamar. Coming off one of the biggest years in rap history with a few singles means everyone will watch the show. But that's not even the reason. He was always going to be able to do this. Because the man is a performer whose last tour broke the record for most ticket sales in rap history. And since he's already shown he can do the Super Bowl, since he's playing on all the radio, since it's on Black History Month, the decision was probably easy for Jay-Z to make. But that does not mean Lil Wayne can't perform at another Super Bowl. It just has to make sense. Lil Wayne's words were, I hope I do enough this year to perform. Because he understands what it takes for a rapper to perform. Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Mary J, 50 Cent, all need to be together so people would watch, because y'all not buying Lil Wayne tickets. Y'all not streaming his songs. So maybe next time, because Lil Wayne is definitely a legend and he for sure got the hits.
Okay, so yeah, that what he said, okay? So yeah, he broke it down better than I would have, for sure. Now, with all that being said, especially with the context old boy just gave here, I don't think it's malicious. Okay, I don't think that it's this. He weaved the story together to make a nice, easy to follow video, but to me, I don't think all of this shit is like the connected conspiracy like people are trying to make, like making it sound like Jay-Z is doing this because he hates Lil Wayne or he hates Drake or something like that. Because that's what people kept on saying. Like Mace and all of them, they kept saying this is just hater shit. They're just doing this because he's being a hater. What is Jay-Z hating on? I don't know. Are they saying that he's hating because Lil Wayne is richer and more famous than he is? Because that's arguably not true. Is he saying he's being a hater because he don't like Drake? I mean, what problems does Jay-Z have with Drake? Like, I don't understand it. To me, it just seems like this was a Jay-Z saw that, what everybody else saw this year. Number one, that rap is down right now. Because, first of all, just a little bit more background. The whole reason Jay-Z is involved in all of this is because he's a part of the board of people who decides to get put on these Super Bowl halftime shows and shit. He's like a talent scout in that way, or advisor in that way. I don't know how you would call it. I didn't look it up, so I don't know the official title for it. But he has say in who gets on stage, and I think he saw what we saw. Number one, rap is down. Like, hip hop right now is not what it was in the 2010s and the 2000s. Like, it's not moving units. It's not selling tickets like it used to. Like, it's still popular, but it's not the number one genre like it once was, for a myriad of reasons that I don't feel like. Hold on, am I on? Oh yeah, a myriad of reasons that I don't feel like getting into. I could get into to fill in the time, but I don't feel like getting into. He sees that's number one. Rap music is down, and his point of being a part of this process of adding his own artist, or adding people that he think is a good artist for the show, is to give black people, or to put spotlights on black people. Because a lot of times back in the day, they would have like country artists and fucking pop singers and just whoever was the famous person in music and whatever, and you know, Jay-Z, his whole thing was he was kind of piggybacking off of what happened with the Colin Kaepernick situation when Colin Kaepernick was in trouble for kneeling and protesting racism and all that shit. And, you know, all Jay-Z really did is finessed that situation into getting a job with the NFL to do that. But the idea behind it is it's almost like his way of having another version of reparations where he's helping the black community by putting black people on the big stage for everybody to see instead of getting Post Malone to perform 3 years in a row. So he sees that rap music is down. So the next thing to do if hip hop as a whole is not doing well is to see who's the hottest out at the moment. And not only who's the hottest at the moment, but who can perform on that type of stage and has the catalog and has the stage presence, and who could really put on a good show, who has the hits, who has the performance ability, you know, who has good relationships with other people he could bring out on the stage with him, and I'd assume that he actually likes Kendrick too as a person, you know, and Kendrick would have all four of those versus a Little Wayne who I understand. Look, it makes all the sense in the world when people explain it. Like, it's in New Orleans, it's in the Superdome. Lil Wayne is from New Orleans. He's like the biggest rapper to ever come out of New Orleans. I mean, come on, like, it's an easy connection to make there. But number one, they, as far as I've known, and even since Jay-Z has been the one doing this, uh, and you could correct me if I'm wrong because I don't watch football and I don't know shit about the Super Bowl, so I could be wrong about this shit. But as far as I know, to my knowledge, it the city that the Super Bowl is being played in doesn't affect the person they choose. So just because it's in a certain city doesn't mean the artist has to be from that city. Like, they've never really done it like that, right? Like, tell me if I'm wrong about that, but for as far as I know, they've never really done it like that. So to act all up in arms and surprised that they didn't do it this time, as if that's something they've always done and just decided not to do just to spite Lil Wayne, is weird to me. Number two, if we're gonna make it like well, he's a New Orleans legend, y'all should just choose him just off the strength. I don't know if that would be a good choice to make because like I said earlier, Lil Wayne is not the greatest stage performer, and I've watched a couple of videos of him on stage playing his music, and it is not electrifying. It's especially not electrifying enough to be on the Super Bowl, which is like the biggest TV event that plays the whole year. There's going to be like 50 to 100 million people watching this at the same time. I don't know if Lil Wayne by himself can do that. And if Lil Wayne is not by himself and he brings friends, the friends that he's going to be bringing most likely will be the big artists that he's known to work with, which are not New Orleans artists. It would be like Nicki Minaj or Drake or any of the other Young Money people. And then that kind of goes against the original point y'all are trying to make about, oh, well, it's about being from New Orleans and they have to be a person that's from New Orleans. It would make sense to me if it was Lil Wayne and like the Hot Boys with Turk and BG. It's funny because I've been saying ever since BG got out of jail, I'm like, bro, the Hot Boys got to make a reunion somehow, bro. We need them all back together on stage again. And I mean everybody. That's Juvenile, Turk, BG, and Manny Fresh. I want him too. With Lil Wayne. We need all of the Hot Boys together. That would be like the most legendary shit. Now, if they were talking about doing that, and that was like set in stone already. And then Jay-Z changed his mind and said, "Never mind, I don't like Lil Wayne no more. I'm gonna get Kendrick instead." Then y'all's outrage would make sense to me. But because this idea has never been pushed by nobody up until now, up until after Kendrick's has already been announced, you know, niggas is backseat driving basically. That's all for the point number one. Rap is down. Point number two: Kendrick is as hot as he's ever been after this Drake diss, and it just, I feel like Jay-Z knew that this would be the better moment to have. Like, for a person like me who's from New Orleans, uh like that Hot Boys idea would be fire, I think. Uh but because that's not very likely to happen, and they probably know that that's not very likely to happen, and that Lil Wayne is probably just gonna bring out a bunch of niggas that's not from New Orleans anyway, it wouldn't make sense to just choose New Lil Wayne just because he's from New Orleans. So go with Kendrick, who's on a very hot streak right now, who has the biggest song in America right now, who everybody is loving right now, who's utterly and indiscriminately destroyed Drake in one of the biggest, most talked about, most popular, most legendary rap beefs in rap history. I'm stamping that right now. You know, Nick, old heads, you want to talk about Ether, you want to talk about No Vaseline, you want to talk about Hit 'em Up, y'all could do that. Y'all could, but at this point, all of them diss tracks and those beefs are fighting for second place. This Kendrick shit is like the pinnacle of this rap beef shit. Like the way it played out and the way that he maneuvered and all the tracks when you listen back to them, you know, I made hours of video about this already, so y'all already know what I think. But with all that in mind, it just makes sense to get Kendrick to do the show, I think. So, and I can come to the conclusion that that just makes sense without it coming off as like a conspiracy, like Jay-Z had something against somebody and he's just holding this over somebody's head and this is just payback for, you know. I don't see it that way. I feel like niggas at that level, like, look, you know, how much is Jay-Z worth? Let me go back here. I don't know how to type, y'all. You gotta forgive me. Do you see this? Do y'all see what I'm looking at on the screen? Jay-Z is worth $2.5 billion with a B. With a B, y'all. This is not a little. Jay-Z is not a regular rapper. He's not even really a rapper no more. So, you know, I know he's a human like everybody else, but I feel like he's above these petty, like this petty back and forth, he said, she said drama bullshit. Like all the ways that people are trying to explain why Jay-Z decided to do Kendrick instead of Lil Wayne, as if those were the two choices and he just decided fuck Lil Wayne and to choose Kendrick. Like Lil Wayne probably wasn't even an option. They probably wasn't even talking about Lil Wayne, and niggas on the internet just made it into an issue with Lil Wayne. I think that Jay-Z is above that. Okay. I usually don't talk like that about people because everybody is human and all people are able to be spiteful and be petty and all that type of shit. I just think that Jay-Z doesn't have the time and energy, and I just don't think he cares that much. You know, I think he just said, hey, look, Kendrick is hot right now, choose Kendrick, it's easy. Like he probably didn't even really think about it that much. I think this is all my opinion here, right? Y'all can argue with me in the comments. We could have another discussion about this later. I don't even think that Jay-Z really thought that deeply about it, to be honest. I feel like all these stories that everybody is connecting and weaving together, it's like the number 23, where niggas just find meaning in every little thing. And those things, the facts that they're, hold up, the facts that they're putting together to make their little web of facts to promote the grand point that they're trying to make may not be wrong, but in the end, it's not a grand design. It's just, it could be a list of coincidences or just some shit that just happened and it don't really have that deep of a meaning behind. You know, you ever saw that movie, the number 23? I think it's called Number 23. Let me see, Number 23. Oh, can you see me? Oh, you see? Can you see me? Yeah. All right. So Number 23 with Jim Carrey's one of the movies that Jim Carrey decided that he don't want to tell jokes no more. He stopped being Ace Ventura when Number 23 came out, and you know it says he read a book about the number 23 and it leads him to a descent to darkness. I think that's what's happening to you niggas. I think that's what's happening to a lot of niggas on the internet about a lot of shit that happens. A lot of the stuff that happens in popular media with these artists, with these entertainers, and all the back and forth bullshit that goes on between them. I think y'all are descending into madness trying to piece together a story because they haven't told you a sufficient story that you think you want to hear. You know, it's like, because yeah, there's a term. I know I'm all over the place, but follow me here. It's a term called Occam's razor. Occam's razor. Let's see. I'm gonna read this for y'all. Suppose an event has two possible explanations. The explanation that requires the fewest assumptions is usually correct. Okay? And that shit has niggas, that's lost on people, okay? Motherfuckers is not implementing Occam's razor. Niggas is coming up with the most deep and complex and multi-level fucking 3D chess shit possible. I saw that happening with Kendrick. Even on Kendrick's side, when niggas was like, oh, you know, this means this, and Kendrick trying to say this is actually a octuplet entendre. I'm like, y'all, it's not that deep. I know Kendrick is smart, but it's not that deep. Y'all are putting extra on it. Y'all putting too much on it. It don't be all of that. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. That don't mean it's always the correct one, but it usually is. It usually is not that deep. And I forgot the point that I was trying to make with that, but I guess the main point is, I don't think that Jay-Z had this fucking grand plan to slight Kendrick and them. And of course, fucking Nicki Minaj. Somebody need to talk to Nicki Minaj. She needs to have a assistant or something running her page. She needs to stop tweeting herself. She needs to let other motherfuckers tweet for her, because she did the same thing with when she was beefing with Megan Thee Stallion, and she crashed out and she made that cracked out song and released those those Instagram live videos of her acting like a person with schizophrenia, fucking tweaking out and shit. She could have kept that to herself. You know, the real issue here is that everybody is having opinion about a situation that means nothing. The real problem is, people, we just need to be quiet. We just need to shut up. I shouldn't even be talking about this right now. I'm contributing to the problem. Every opinion that motherfuckers have don't need to be shared. And when you don't have a million opinions just floating out in the air, and everybody is arguing and debating and fighting and trying to debunk, well, oh no, this is true, but that's not true, and then this is true, well, this could mean this, but you know, we have peace. when motherfuckers shut the fuck up until we get official word about something. It's okay to believe in your conspiracy theory. It's okay to think what you think about a situation. It's okay to say your opinion about it. But it doesn't have to turn into this huge debate. It doesn't have to turn into you being like Nicki Minaj. Hold up. Being like Nicki Minaj on Twitter. Crashing the fuck out. Where is her? It was on Twitter, I think. You gotta forgive me, y'all. I don't know how to spell and I don't know how to type. So, but Nicki Minaj, she gets on here and she is wilding out. I am not signing in on here, dude. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. She must have deleted them. Anyway, just imagine an angry tweet from Nicki Minaj. We don't need that. And with that not happening, and with Lil Wayne's manager or whoever the fuck it is not posting his shit, and Birdman not posting his shit, and Mace and Cameron talking about you're a hater. What could end up happening, or what could have ended up happening, is that Kendrick could have performed and Lil Wayne could have went up there with him. And then y'all wouldn't have nothing to fucking talk about, and everything would have been hunky dory. But now that everybody's fucking they've made this a contentious issue. Now there's more politics that has to happen before Lil Wayne could get up on stage with Kendrick for the Super Bowl. It didn't have to be like that, but because everybody has to come up with their story, everybody has to get on the news, everybody has to fucking, this shit really don't even matter that much for me to be talking about it this long. I don't even know why I did this. I wasn't even gonna make this video. I wanted y'all to see. Hold up. I wanted y'all to see my computer. That's the real reason why I'm even talking about this right now. I want y'all to see my computer. I want y'all to see how far I've come in the production of this show. Okay, I care about you guys, and I want this to be an enjoyable experience. But the real the ending to this, because I ain't really got nothing else to say about this shit. People, we all need to learn to shut the hell up, man. We just need to. It's the same thing with Drake. If Drake, when he finished beefing with Kendrick, and everybody decided finally, okay, it's over now. We don't need no more tracks between the both of you. We've already decided Kendrick has won. With Drake seeing that, because Drake knows that the internet and the public at large believes that Kendrick won. What Drake could have done to kind of smooth this over, which is kind of what he did after the Pusha T thing. What Drake could have did is just chill for about 3 or 4 months. It didn't even have to be a whole half of year. It could have been 3 or 4 months of nothing but silence, for you to lick your wounds and just come back with an absolute bopper. Not these songs he's been dropping. These songs that he's been dropping has been garbage, and they're probably shit that he's been holding on to for a long time, and he's just dropping it now just to have something out there in the ether, to have something for people to talk about. He shouldn't be doing that. He's flooding the market. He's saturating himself right now. Oh, can you see me? Yeah. He's saturating himself right now. Instead of doing that, and he should have gave people a chance to miss him. Let people have their moment of roasting you and saying that you lost and saying that Kendrick is the greatest. And if Kendrick really is as bad as you and your fans are trying to make it seem, and niggas like Kendrick, it wouldn't have none of this without Drake, and the only reason Kendrick got a #1 hit is because of Drake. If that's the case, then you'll be fine. All you got to do is chill, relax, and use that time off to make something substantial. Because Drake, your problem. I didn't mean for this to turn into a Drake video, but I ain't even got nothing else to say about this Jay-Z shit. The Jay-Z shit was stupid. Lil Wayne being the headliner in the Super Bowl is like the least of anybody's problems. I don't even think most of New Orleans really care. I've been visiting New Orleans every now and then, but I don't really have the foot on the pulse, or I don't have the most updated information on what the vibe of New Orleans is right now. But I don't think that a lot of New Orleans niggas really give a damn about this. I mean, it sounds like a cool thing, but I don't think, like, it's a bunch of motherfuckers being mad for us, being mad for people from New Orleans. And I don't, like, we don't really give a damn like that. Or maybe I'm wrong about that too. I don't know. I'm weird, so niggas don't be believing I'm from New Orleans for real, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, off of that. If Drake would have just took a little break and let the people miss him, we wouldn't be where we are now, where it's almost starting to look like nothing that Drake is dropping is hitting like how he wants it to hit. All he didn't drop like 10, 15 songs, and none of them is doing the numbers. Like, these motherfuckers be bragging about him doing the numbers. And it's because he saturated the market. Drake, your problem is that you've been dropping, because they try to make it seem like a good thing that you just been dropping and dropping and dropping, and we're always getting music from Drake, and Kendrick keep on taking breaks. You gotta wait 5 years before Kendrick make a song. It's because Kendrick is taking his time, and he actually cares about making art. He actually cares about making good art, and people are recognizing that. And that's why more people are gravitated toward Kendrick at the moment, because that's being exposed now. Because Drake, you've dropped about 3 or 4 stinkers over the past few years. Your albums are worthless. If they were Thanos snapped out of existence, nothing in the world would change. Like, your art is not substantial at all. It's not even substantial in the sense of us finding out aspects of your life and learning anything about you. We don't learn anything about you from these albums other than you fucking hoes and you got money and you're traveling on boats and shit. That's literally it. And we got enough of that, Drake. We don't need another 20 songs of you having money and getting bitches. We don't need another 20 songs of that. People are getting tired of this shit. Like, all the songs are fucking interchangeable with each other. The shit it's all starting to sound the same. You're not putting no thought, no energy into this shit. You need to take a break. You need to buckle down and really think and meditate and try to be an artist. And try to make good art that's actually gonna live on. It's not gonna live on because it's just a boppy song that niggas can play in the background and it's inoffensive and you don't have to think about it and it's not challenging. Like, you want to be timeless like how Marvin Gaye was. You don't want to be timeless like the Whoop There It Is niggas. You get what I'm saying? Like, Whoop There It Is timeless because it's a boppy little song that you don't got to think about, and it's not challenging and it's fun to listen to. But nobody is saying, damn, the niggas that made Whoop There It Is, those are the greatest rappers of all time. You know? You don't want to be, because that's where you're going, Drake. Like, you have the most streams, and people make it seem like if you got the most streams, that means your music is better because more people is listening to it. But his music is getting more views and streams in the same way that Whoop There It Is gets a bunch of streams. Or like the Cupid Shuffle. Everybody plays, if you go to a party or a wedding or a quince, every one of them is going to play Cupid Shuffle. Every one of them is going to play Wobble. Every one of them is going to play fucking the Cha-Cha Slide. Does that mean that music is just the best music ever made and that's the greatest art because it's streamed now to this day and everybody listens to it and everybody like no. Art is a little more complicated than that. And making good art and good art being timeless, it takes more effort than that. You know? Like the 2C, listen to the 2C slide. The 2C slide was a hit, but it's like the least interesting song ever made. It's not even good in the 2C, in the Whoop There It Is sense, because at least you can dance to it, really. You ain't even have no energy on the 2C slide, the song that's supposed to be a dance song. The song that we're supposed to be doing the dance to, that you're explaining the steps to. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody on earth knows how to do the 2C slide. Like that song has, hold up, let me see. Let me go back. Let me make sure this is recording. Let's see, what's their Spotify streams for a 2C slide? Oh, they're not giving it to me. And I'm not cutting any of this out either because I need to make my point. Okay, I'll believe this. It says 2C slide has surpassed 800 million streams. That means niggas played 800 million times the instructions to 2C slide and nobody knows how to do the goddamn 2C slide. And that's questionable because we all know how these motherfuckers, Drake tried to say Kendrick was botting, but we all know this might not be, all this might not be legitimate. Most of it might be legitimate, but it might not all. It might be more like 600 million instead of 800 million. But that's beside the point. Even your dance song didn't do what it was supposed to do because it's soulless and you didn't put no fucking thought into it. This isn't art. And people are starting to see that now that Kendrick has kind of put it into perspective for most people. Kendrick was the only person that could have done that. He's the only one that's at a similar level to you that is also a person who cares about making actual art. With him being the person to put this out, it's easier. People are finding out that your music is soulless dreck and it's background music, basically. Niggas be like, oh, you never hear Kendrick playing in the background nowhere. I always hear people playing Drake at the gym, and they be playing Drake at the Walmart, and they be playing as if that's a good thing. Like, this is internet logic that the most popular thing is the best thing. That's internet shit. Artists don't think like that, and people who appreciate good art don't think like that. And I think people are starting to wake up to it. But anyway, that's all that was. I ain't mean to talk about this for that long. I just wanted you to be mesmerized by my screen. You see my cool new screen here. I still got some more upgrades to do too. I'm gonna get a new CPU in here. Oh well, I think I said that already. But anyway, if you disagree, if you want to argue with me about it, you can. If you have a opposing opinion about this, I would love to have a conversation and we can stream it and we can have some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? We'll turn it into a whole thing. I just think, number one, let Kendrick perform at the goddamn Super Bowl. It's not a big deal. Stop being mad on New Orleans niggas on our behalf. We don't really care that much, or or at least I don't think we care that much. Nobody in my family texts me saying, "Damn, you heard about what happened with Lil Wayne?" We don't give a damn, okay? And Drake, it's not too late, Drake. All you got to do, you still can. Cause I know why I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end it. I promise. I know. Hold up. I know why you didn't stop. I know why you want to keep going. You didn't want people to think that Kendrick stopped you from dropping this summer because you wanted to have the summer and you wanted to, you were trying to prove a point, and I understand the point you're trying to prove. But listen, more mid music is not going to get you out of this situation. You need to stop. You need to take a break. You ain't gotta take a break for a whole year. You ain't gotta take a break for a whole 6 months. Take like a 3 to 4 month break and really lock in and really drop something that is substantial. And it can be boppy and nice. It don't have to be Mr. Morale. It don't have to be a therapy session. We don't want you to turn into Kendrick Lamar. We just want you to make something that's interesting again. And then we'll get back on your side the same way that it happened with Pusha T. You did not learn from the ass whooping that Pusha T gave you. But anyway, that's the end of it. Thanks for listening, guys. Good night, I guess.